Got the pen and the paper in your hand. Got the story going, but you wanted to expand. We'll help you on your journey, let us lend you a hand. Join the show. So let's write the book TV show. Grab your pen and paper and we're gonna let it flow. Talking about write the book TV. Join the show.
Hello and welcome to another segment of Write the Book TV. I am your host, Kimberly LeBou. As you know, here on Write the Book TV, we show up each week talking about all things writing and publishing. So we're either talking to authors or we're talking to experts about writing and publishing. And so tonight, I have been looking forward to this interview. We have AI consultant Nikki Ash, her stage name, social media name, Nikki Govan, is with us tonight. And I'm super excited to talk to her about the topic of AI. It is heavy in the publishing groups, the writing groups that I see on Facebook and other social media, the conversation, it's just so much rhetoric about AI. And so tonight I'm excited to be able to have this conversation with Nikki and to have our viewing audience tuning in. And you guys make sure you ask questions if you have them, because I'll be able to see the chat tonight. And so I'm just super excited about this conversation. So welcome to Write the Book TV, Nikki. We are so excited to have you.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. I am too excited. I'm always excited to talk about AI, so I'm super excited to be talking to the community. So yes, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Like I said, I belong to a lot of the groups on Facebook that have anything to do with writing, publishing, or there's children's books, just author groups and things like that. And I've had to leave a couple of them because the conversation around AI is just almost toxic.
Yeah.
And it takes over every conversation because you always have a chosen few in the group that go hard on anybody who dares to mention AI. And so,
No, I know.
for our viewing audience, I met Nikki back in December, the Black Business Expo. I think that's what
Yep.
it's called, right? Black
Yep.
Business Expo.
Yep.
And she had her booth set up and she had her little laptop there and she was displaying. I was like, "Ooh, this lady is bold to be out here in public talking about AI," right? And so I think I was probably like 2 or 3 booths away from her. And you know how you walk by when you're at vending, you walk by and you look and you just keep walking like you don't know if you want to stop or not. That's exactly what I was doing. But I was like, I want to talk to this lady about AI, see what she has to say about AI and, in the literary space and everything. And so it was super cool to talk to you there. And so then I was like, let me reach out and see if she'd be willing to come and talk to our audience.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so
Absolutely.
you're so excited about AI, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm super excited about AI. When I first got introduced to AI, it was through the normal productivity way. I was working, I had to actually write my performance assessment, my annual performance assessment that we all dread. And so I was like, oh my God, this thing is going to take me again 2 weeks out of my time. And I was like, you know what? Let me go in chat. I call him cousin chat sometimes. It's like, let me go in cousin chat and see what he can help me with. And it was just mind blowing. It was mind blowing how he or AI was able to just help me consolidate, organize my thoughts. It didn't replace my voice at all. What it did is that I did a brain dump and say, hey, look, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I need to do. These are the answers to what I've already done for my performance assessment. How can you help me to consolidate this? It's due in like 3 days. And it spit it out and it asked me certain questions. So my introduction to AI was really under the humble of just simple productivity, everyday life.
Yeah. And I love that word. I'm always putting something in there and saying, make this more concise. I feel like I overdid it. Make it more concise. And
And you keep asking
a
those questions.
great feature of it. I mean, AI could take you down a rabbit hole.
It
I
can.
love doing certain things with it. And so one of the biggest fears amongst authors is that AI is going to replace writers. And so from your perspective, where is that fear valid and where is it simply not true?
So I would say that it's not here to replace you, it's here to enhance anything that you do. First of all, I would tell authors or anyone that is writing something that's coming from themselves, their voice, please don't upload your entire transcript, and AI. Don't do anything like that. One of the things that AI can help you do is take some weight off your shoulders when it comes to things like helping you with your elevator pitch, helping you with your book description, helping you with your marketing and promotion. So those are just little things that turn into something that can be lifted off of your shoulders as not only an author, but a small business owner.
Mhm.
Because when I was doing my further research about authors, is that the thing is that authors need to understand they're running a business.
Yeah.
They are running a business. And when you market and promote your book, you have to market and promote your book because you're a brand just like anybody else that's going to market or promote their product. So AI can help them in those type of instances. Now, when it comes to security and safety, I would advise them that when you're going into a tool, especially like Cousin Chat, Cousin Chat does have some security features that would make them a little bit more comfortable. And so you learn those security features and you're able to kind of lock your account.
Mhm.
And as somebody said, making sure you shy away the vultures from getting into your account, your hackers and everything. So there are ways where you can secure your account. And that's what people really need to understand is that, especially authors, before you start deep diving into ChatGPT or any other tool, make sure that your account is safe and secure.
Okay. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later.
Okay.
I love this. And so, for authors who choose to engage with AI thoughtfully, where does it create the greatest strategic advantage without compromising integrity or their voice?
Well, I would say without compromising their integrity or their voice. So when you start using those tools, you want to start using them in a way where, for example, if you're having a lot of writers may be having a blank slate and they don't even know where to start, right?
Yeah.
Don't even know where to start. What you can do is what I like to call a brain dump, right? And so a lot of times I may go and use a tool just to brain dump my idea, just to organize my thoughts. And so the integrity part comes in is that it's not going to take your voice because one thing about computers, that's all AI is a
Mhm.
computer. One thing about computer is that it's going to do exactly what you ask it to do.
Mhm.
And so whatever you ask it to do, it's going to come back with that. But also it's going to ask you, when you do that brain dump, it's going to say, okay, Kimberly, do you want me to organize this in a manner where you're getting ready to put it on a feature? Do you want me to? So when it comes to integrity, you just have to be careful and cautious as to what you put in ChatGPT
Yeah.
and the instructions. The instructions are so key as to what you give ChatGPT or any other tool that you're
Mhm.
going to be using for any author.
True. Wow. Yeah. I like, and you were saying about it coming back and asking you things. That's where you get down the rabbit hole. Because it'll
You
give you
do.
something, and it'll say, okay, what would you like for me to do next? I can do A, B, C, D.
Yes,
And then it's
absolutely.
like you may want two or three of those things that you
Yes,
had never even thought about.
yes,
Watch the things that it asks you.
yes. Yes, and
Wow.
that is what's so awesome about it is that it's going to take your thoughts and it's going to take your ideas and say, hey, look, here's some other things that you may not have thought about. And something simple is like meal planning, right? Sometimes I just run out of ideas and I just say, you know what? I have chicken breast, spinach, cheese, and
Wow.
peppers. What can I make? And you will not believe the options that it comes up with. The
Yeah.
same thing happens with a small business owner. Sometimes you're looking at a blank screen and you just don't know where to start.
Mhm.
Just go ahead and so here's one tip I can give people. There is a dictation feature in ChatGPT. And a lot of times, sometimes we do better, like we're sitting here having a discussion. Sometimes you can have a discussion with chat just before you start typing or after you start typing, because sometimes it's a little bit easier to talk things through, to
Mhm.
talk it out, to get that brain dump out. So I would encourage you, if you look in ChatGPT, there is a dictation feature in there instead of you typing everything, because sometimes that can be quite lengthy. You
Mhm.
can use that dictation feature to make life a whole lot easier when you're trying to express your thoughts, your
Mhm.
ideas, how you want to brain dump. Even as, like I said, even as simple as when you're doing a book description, you was like, okay, my book is about this, blah, 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 blah. And I
Mhm.
want you to organize it. Or make it, here's another idea, make it in a way that if your book is about, I don't know, is about cars, right? Is about cars. So make my book description, because you may want to have book descriptions for different things, for
Mhm.
different types of audience. Maybe you're going to your child's school
True.
and you say, okay, I need a book description for eighth graders, or I need a book description for college students. You're not going to have the same type of book description because you're not going to have the same type of verbiage.
That's good.
That is where the AI tool is so powerful.
Mhm.
Can you imagine how many hours it would take for you to write your book description from one audience to another audience?
Yeah,
That's just mind blowing and powerful. So
it is. I hear what you're saying. I mean, sometimes somebody will send me something that's like this long, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I said, my favorite
consolidate.
word is make it concise. Like, can we tighten this up a bit? And the other thing I do too is, tell it to talk or give me it as if it were me. You know,
Yes.
like,
Yes.
yeah, in my voice. That's what I always say. In my voice. Do this in my voice. And so because I played with it so much, it's began to learn me and everything. But I think it's funny that you were talking about the dictation because I know that was a hang up of mine. I was like, I'm not going to use, and I still haven't done it yet, but because I just like typing in there. But when I thought about the dictation, I was like, well, if I talk into that, it's going to steal my voice and it's going to use
All
you to do the, and so to all those thoughts that
through your mind.
because of, and then when you come from a certain background too,
Yes.
you have all those kind of hangups and about security issues and everything. And so it takes some of us a little bit longer to warm up to features like this for that reason. And so, one of the other things that I've heard is, a lot of authors worrying about people telling them that this cheating or they're not being authentic. And so, how do you define ethical and responsible AI use in creative work?
So one thing you just mentioned it, Kimberly, about teaching AI how to give you things in your style and tone.
Mhm.
So I talk about in some of my workshops, I'll talk about style, tone, and security. And so there's a way in ChatGPT that you can train it when you first start using it after you secure your account. When
Mhm.
you first start using it, you can give ChatGPT information about you so it can start learning you. But what happens is just like you're riding a bike, right? When you first start off riding that bike, it's a little bit rough, right?
Uh,
You're not going to always, you're not going to always be able to balance yourself. You're going to fall, not necessarily fall in ChatGPT, but what's going to happen is that it may not always give you the first answer that you may want all the time. So it's going to have to learn your voice. It's going to have to learn how you write, how you talk, how it's going to have to learn. Once you start training it, then eventually it will start coming back. And before you know it, you are able to produce stuff faster, 10, sometimes 20 times faster than you did maybe a month ago. Because it's starting to learn your style and tone. A really good example of this, very simplistic, is that I have a 14-year-old. And so I'm teaching her how to use AI in a very ethical, a very safe, in a very effective manner. And so she was running for vice president of one of the programs at her school. And she says, Mommy, I need to write my speech. I said, okay. And so she said, but I need some help. And she said, I want to use chat. I said, okay. I said, but what's the number one rule? You just don't go ask it for ideas. And she said, okay. She said, I need to brain dump it. Exactly. So she brain dumped it. She drafted up her speech ahead of time. Then she went to chat and said, hey, look, this is what I'm looking to do. Now she knew even when chat came back and said, oh, here is your new speech. She said, no. This is on a college level. She was like, I don't talk like this.
Yeah.
I don't use these extravagant words. So
Mhm.
she went back to chat and say, look, this is not me. I'm an 8th grade girl. And so what it did is that it asked her certain questions to get to know her style and tone. And so once it asked her certain questions to get her style and tone, it was able to come back with a speech that blew everybody away.
Wow.
So you have to train it. It's not the first answer or the first response that you get out of it may not necessarily be the quote unquote perfect answer that you're going to always be looking for. You do have to train it and you do have to be patient with it to get with the outcome, your ultimate outcome that you'll desire.
Yeah. And I think and that like fully kind of answers the question that I was about to ask you about how authors could remain fully in control of their voice, their message, and their story without it interfering with that process. And so you kind of just said it by going back and forth with it,
Mm-hmm.
train it
Mm-hmm.
to know your voice and your style and your tone. And so so that's pretty cool. You know, it's just like with anything, you just have to learn it,
Yes.
learn the features. I was recently in an AI summit and I was blown away with the stuff that they were like, do this, do that, put this prompt in. And I realized the more specific you are with your question or with your directions of what you want ChatGPT to do, the better the outcome. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's one of the first things, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's one of the first things that you learn about any AI tool that you use is about, we call it the set of instructions, but in the AI world, we call it prompting. It's called prompt engineering.
yeah.
And so, yes, absolutely. The more detailed and specific you are with your prompt, the more you will get out of it. So instead of saying, like I gave the example about the different book descriptions, right? Instead of you saying, I want a book, a quick book description for the 8th graders, I'm going to, what is it called? When they have the, I forgot what it's called, when they have the days where the parents come. I
Oh,
forgot.
parent teacher conferences?
No, not parent teacher conference. When you come, you attend your child's school and it's career day. That's what
Oh, career day.
career
Okay.
day. So when you're telling it, hey, look, I'm attending my child's career day. I
Mhm.
need to rewrite my book description for 8th grade level. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'm getting ready to go speak at a author's convention.
Mhm.
Okay, and so I need you to rewrite my book description for a author's convention. These are the type of people that will be there. I need for it to be in 1 minute, right? I need for it to be 1 minute, and I need for you to put a catchy punchline in there. Those are the details that you can put into your prompt or your set of instructions and get a better outcome.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Let's do a little reset for our viewing audience because we do have some people that are watching. Quinice Shepherd said, great information and insight. Haven't used it enough to know how it works. And so listen in, Quinice, we got you. And so to our viewing audience, we thank you all for tuning in tonight. We are with AI consultant Nikki Ash, aka Nikki Govan, on social media. And she is just here to share with us some things about AI and how it can assist and benefit authors and people in this literary space. And so I'm just so happy that she's here tonight to have this conversation.
Yeah.
And so let's see. What are some gentle, low risk ways that authors, even to Quinice's point, she hasn't used it enough to know what to do, what not to do, but
Okay.
some low risk ways that authors can use AI to support their work without it feeling invasive or overwhelming?
Prompting, I mentioned, but I would say simple ways is just going in there and using it probably for like 10 minutes every day. Right?
Mm,
Just build it. I don't want to say build a habit, but it's getting to that comfort level.
mhm.
And so after you secure your account, going in there 10 minutes and I don't want to, I want to say, don't go in there initially as an author. Go in there initially with the everyday productivity task, just like I did from the jump, right? It may be something as simple like I mentioned about meal planning
Or
or
my
about
closet clean out.
closet clean out.
I did that one.
I used it the other day because my husband and I are planning a trip in April. And
Mhm.
so I used it for our itinerary as far as trip planning, where we can go, something. And you would not believe the hotel list it came up
Yeah.
with. It asked me for my preferences, like,
Mhm.
okay, what type of hotel do you guys like to stay? What type of eatery or restaurants would you like? It was just amazing at the questions
Yeah.
prompt me. So I would say one of the first things that you can do, and I have two things. One of the first things you can do to start getting your comfort level is just go in there, go into ChatGPT, set your account up, just start using it for your everyday things. Meal planning, productivity, planning a trip, planning somebody's birthday party. Just coming up with different ideas. Oh, look, we have snow right here, right in the DMV area. So something simple as what is a safe way for me to shovel my snow in front of my door? I mean, something as simple as that. Something as simple as that. So
It's
I
going
would
to give you 10
say,
ways too.
see, something as simple as that. And the second thing, and I know we'll get to it, is that's the reason why I developed 10 ways to market and promote your book.
Mhm.
Because in that ebook that you guys have advantage to get for completely free, it has some prompts in there that you guys could just copy and paste right into ChatGPT. That's another way of getting your comfort level and starting to work into the tool where you're like, okay, I'm a little bit more comfortable. I see how it works. Because when you initially go to ChatGPT, it's just a blank screen,
Mhm.
right? And you sitting there saying, okay, what do I type? You can copy and paste some of the prompts that I provide into the book, or you can just simply start using it for everyday life.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm going to read Quinice's question.
Okay.
And then I'll ask this question because it plays into what she just
Okay.
said. She said, I still feel uncomfortable using it, even with training it. It feels unethical, less authentic. I'm a nonfiction writer. I have to express feelings, be transparent. I just don't feel it's for me. But she did say she liked the suggestion of the simple everyday stuff. And so, sort of along the lines of that too is there's a lot of guilt and shame that's being projected into the writing community around AI use. I told you about what's happening inside of these groups and everything. So one, do you feel like it's warranted? And then how should authors think about ethics without fear?
So ethics without fear. I would say that one, like we just talked about some ideas about your comfort level and not using it for as an author. Let's start there. Not using it as an author. I would say just use it for productivity. But kind of going back to what was her name? I'm sorry.
Quinice.
Quanice.
Quinice.
I understand where you're coming from. You're not comfortable. You still want to make sure you maintain your voice. You still have some ill feelings about it and everything. So here are some other ideas, right? As small business owners, and I want you guys as authors, you have to look at yourselves as small business owners, right? We wear so many hats. We wear marketing hat, we wear accounting hat, we wear promotion hat, we wear administrative hat. As an author, you're writing your book. Honestly, after you have written your book and poured out blood, sweat, and tears, do you really have the time, energy, and even expertise to come up with, okay, so how am I going to promote this on social media? What type of content do I put on social media? Okay, wait a minute. I have an email list or people want to contact me or keep in contact me. What in the world am I going to put in my email subscription? If I want to start a vlog or a blog, what in the world am I? This is where the AI tools be so helpful for you guys.
Yeah.
I can't stress that enough, is that even if you do not want to put your author ad on and write it and use it for book description or anything like that, you can go in the tool and say, hey, look, as a book author, you don't even have to put your name of your book, right? You can just say as a book author, that's probably in a certain genre, right? I need to promote my book. What are 10 ways that I can promote my book? Now, the prompts that I give you guys are a little bit more specific to help you out. Because remember, the more detailed you are with your prompts, the better your outcome is. So I would say I understand the biggest concern about the security, the safety. You want to keep your voice, you want to maintain it, you want to be ethical. I understand that. But think about the other categories or paths that you have or roles that you have to play as a small business owner. Those roles right there can fit, AI can fill the gap for that. And think about this, right? So let's talk money. Let's talk money.
Let's.
Okay. I have a group that I go to on a quarterly basis, and we talk and we exchange information. And so I asked them, I said, let's talk about social media and let's talk about how do you guys manage your social media. I said, how much do you pay? Pay for somebody to come up with your content, whether it's graphics, whether it's videos, the captions to go with it, the hashtags to go with it. How many platforms do we have out there? I said, how much are you guys paying for a social media manager just to come up with the content and then schedule and post it? One lady said $700 a month.
Wow.
$700 a month. Somebody do the math times 12 months and tell me how much can you save?
Yeah.
Just with the, and if you want to scale it back even further with just the social media content alone, for 30 days, you can pay anywhere from $350 to $500 on up just for the content alone.
Yeah.
Just for the content alone. Let's talk about websites. There are ways that you can create your author website, right, in a matter of 90 seconds. I personally know people that pay over $3,000 just for their website.
Yeah.
And the website took 3 months. 3 months, $3,000 versus 90 seconds, $20. You do the math.
Yeah, and I think you demoed that for me at the expo. Like, what's
Mm,
your business again? I was like, oh gosh. Yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
so many different ways. I mean, for authors to use it to give me 10 book events that are coming up in my area that I should attend.
Yes.
Um, it's just so many things that it can be used for in an ethical way.
Yes.
know, like we're
Other
not
than
saying telling ChatGPT write my whole book like that's
right.
Chris.
Right. No.
But we're
No.
talking about ways that AI can enhance the author's platform. And so that was great advice. And Quinice said, she said, wow, so good. Never thought of this. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So she just made my night. Yes.
Yes.
She just made my night because I really want authors to understand you're a small business owner and you're running a business. And so when you think about the multi things that you run your business, think about the different things that you have to do, how much money you're putting out, how much money you can save, and how many roles you are already playing. And you want, and I know, Kimberly, you can speak to this as a PR specialist, that you know that you have got to have your book out there
Hmm.
or then you can count, right? In
Yeah.
so many different ways, whether it's, being on a media or whether it's a website or whether it's social media or whether you're going to network. Okay. So here's another one for her. Okay. So you're at a networking event. It could be church. Let's take church. You could be at church and you're sitting here having a conversation and somebody says whatever the conversation leads to, it may lead to a chapter in your book, right? It may lead to a chapter in your book. And so you know what, you can sit there and say, you know what, I have something for you. I have something for you. I'm like, really? And so you can develop a lead magnet where it can be like a very, you know how they do, and Kimberly, I know you can talk to this, how they do the excerpts, like a quick excerpt out of the
Yeah.
books, like,
Hmm.
right? So
Hmm.
you can have some type of lead magnet that talks briefly about your book that can hook them and reel them in, and you can lead them to that landing page and they can download it for free. It may be one little page. Download it for free. And it may be nothing out of your book. It may be about you talking about your book. Or better yet, there's a tool, there's an AI tool that you can kind of brain dump and say, hey, this is what I want people to know about my book.
Hmm.
And it would take two people, and the two people would act like they're podcasters and
Yeah, I've seen
talk about their book
that. Hmm.
for them, like they're sitting there talking about, oh, this author, blah blah blah, and they just had, they're announcing or launching this book, and it will be a podcast about your book. That's something that you can have as a lead magnet, where you can gain that person's information, because I call it a connection. So you're making that connection with that person. You're leading them to your landing page. They download the lead magnet for free. Boom. You have their email, you have their address, you have their phone number. Now you can continue to nurture that relationship
Yeah.
or that, and then it continues on to a lead, and before you know it, it's a client.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. So, I mean, we're already out of time.
We knew that. We knew this was going to happen.
We're already over time, but I do want to get this in there because I want to talk a little bit about the security side. So, what aspects of the author journey should never be handed over to AI, and which parts are actually like holding authors back when they insist on doing everything manually? So, I think you talked a little bit about time and money lost, if you don't jump on this train, right? But I do want to talk about the security side of it. Like, what should you never hand over to AI? And then there are ways that you can protect, like you talked a little bit about how you can protect your chatty.
Yes. Yeah, cousin chat. I think we had talked about before, never, ever, never, ever, never, ever, ever upload your transcript.
Mhm.
Right? Never upload your transcript. Never upload anything that, like a full chapter or anything like that. I just will be cautious and careful about your ideas that you upload into ChatGPT or any type of AI tool, right? Just be cautious and careful. Use it for other things to really get the word out to enhance your brand,
Yeah.
enhancing so people know more about your book, right? As far as safety and security, so I'm giving out so many gems tonight. So one of the things, if you're going to use chat, which I highly recommend that be the first, if you've never experienced any AI tool, go to chat first. It's one of the most easiest ones that you can learn. In ChatGPT, when you set your account up, you can go to settings. And in settings, there are two things that you can do to secure your account. It's called data controls. Make sure data controls is off. And the reason why you want to make sure it's off is because this ensures that this particular model, when you are pouring your content and making all these amazing things, is not going to be used to train the model for everybody else.
Right.
Okay. So make sure you go to settings and data control, make sure it's off. So your content is not to be used to train the model for everybody else. That's number one. Number two, in that same settings, you'll see multi-factor authentication. Okay, multi-factor authentication is nothing but like when you have an account, like your bank account. When you go into your bank account and it wants to secure and verify who
Yeah.
you are, it'll send a passcode to your phone. That's exactly what ChatGPT can do. So when you go in there and you turn on multi-factor authentication, it's going to log you out of your account. So make sure you're not doing nothing you really want to pay attention to, right? So it's going to log you out of your account, and then it's going to prompt you to secure your account with a password, an extra layer of security. And that'll keep the hackers out, you guys.
Yeah, that's great info. And Cornelia, she said, when you said you were giving out gems, she said, yes, you are gems, gold, and pearl. Thank you. She said, this is very helpful to us
Oh,
authors. And
you.
so
I
thank you
appreciate
for engaging so much tonight, Cornelia. I really appreciate that. I wanted you guys to come and be able to ask your questions,
Yes.
just get some answers. And so this has been really, really great. And so let me just ask, let's see, let's see, where do I want to go? If you could give authors one guiding principle for integrating AI into their creative process, what would it be and why?
Integrating AI into their creative process.
One guiding principle for integrating AI into their creative process. What would it be
Principle.
and why?
There's so many ways. I get real antsy about this because there's so many ways. AI can do so many things in creative ways, but I'm thinking about ethical and I'm thinking about authors.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular idea, I think will be probably the most creative idea. So I'm gonna tie this in kind of multi-level.
Okay.
Graphic designers. I'm a graphic designer by nature. I went to school for graphic design. We all know how pictures tell 1,000 words. One of the most creative ways that you can use AI when it comes to you promoting or marketing your book is that it can produce graphics or images to bring your book to life. So if you're writing a children's book, and it could be something, remember, it's the prompt, it's the instruction. So it may be, if it's a children's book, you may go in AI and say, hey, you don't have to say, I wrote a children's book, right? You don't have to say that. You can go in there and say, hey, I need an image about a little girl with her father and how she it's just her and her dad, and let the wording be daddy's little girl or something like that, and it will produce an image that you can use on different type of platforms. And I think that right there, you're not putting your transcript, you're not giving ChatGPT your whole entire book. You're not All you giving it is a set of instructions to say, hey, this is the image that I want to produce to bring my book to life. I think that may be one of the most creative ways creative ideas that I love about ChatGPT and other tools, because every day ChatGPT is getting more and more advanced. and they're coming up with so many different ideas.
Mm-hmm.
A graphic designer, probably for an image like that, they're going to charge you hundreds of dollars. Again, $20 a month, and you can create as many images as you want to bring your book to life. So I think that might be one of the most ethical and kind of creative ways to use it as an author.
That's interesting because I'm like, okay, I was like, okay, all the graphic artist people, they're gonna start coming for us and they get to this part in the interview because that's one of the most controversial
I'm a graphic
part
designer.
about the graphic design. It's just insane. So we not even going down that rabbit
Yeah, we ain't gonna
hole.
go down
You
that
know, if I
rabbit
get
hole.
start seeing it in the comments, I'm like, oh my gosh, we hit a nerve.
We'll
But
let them, we'll
uh,
let them know that I am a graphic designer. I went to school for graphic design, so I
yeah.
know all about it. But I'm telling you, it's a game changer. It really is.
Yeah, I think it enhances a lot of stuff. And I know I said that was going to be the last question, but I do have one more. So I was like, this was a good one. Okay, so if an author wants to remain competitive and relevant over the next 3 to 5 years, what strategic posture toward AI would you recommend today?
Walk, no, run. I want you guys to run towards AI. Don't walk. And the reason why I say that is because you can go from idea to execution in a matter of minutes to days with AI
Mhm.
versus historically in the past, a idea to execution can take you months and even.
Oh no, what happened? Sorry about that, guys. I think she got cut off somehow. Let's see if she'll pop right back in. But again, thank you so much for sharing this time with us on Write the Book TV. We have been interviewing AI consultant Nikki Ash, aka Nikki Govan, on all social media platforms. This has been such an amazing episode, and I'm really excited and happy that we were able to bring her on because AI is such a relevant topic in this literary space and in our daily lives altogether. And so I just wanted to be able to bring that on and share it with you. Annette said, great info, ladies. Thank you. Queenie said, well done, Kimberly. Great interview. You're sowing seeds for us. Oh, thanks, Debbie. Debbie said, great information. I know we lost Nikki, but we were overtime anyway. And I was like, really? Working, putting her to work. And so I think, it was a great interview. And so I hope that, you guys got something out of it. Go back and rewatch the interview. And she does have there is a free giveaway. And I think it is myfreedownload.com. Okay, here she is. Let me see, because I can't remember it off the top of my head. Here we go. Nikki,
Oh
there you go.
my God, my computer just died.
That's okay. I just kept on talking.
My
Like maybe
computer
she'll
just
pop back
died.
in. I'm right at the point where
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. Right at the point where I was trying to remember what the
Okay.
free giveaway is for them because you came there.
Oh, yes. So the
I
free
couldn't
giveaway,
remember the link.
mybookpromo.com.
mybookpromo.com. Okay, I told him, I said, this is right on time because I had worked you overtime anyway. And so it's all good. Great information.
Good.
I don't even remember like where you were mid thought. I don't know if you do, if you wanted to finish your thought on what you were talking about or,
What was I talking about?
yeah,
What
it was talking
was
about
it
the
about?
next
Oh,
three to
I was
five years, how they
telling,
remain competitive.
oh, yeah, I was saying to run, not walk,
Oh, yeah.
because the amount of time that it takes to go from idea to
Uh-oh, you're
execution
breaking up.
is a matter of minutes now
Mhm.
versus in historically. Oh, it might be the storm. It might be the storm in my
Oh,
reception. But I would say, is it still going in and
No,
out?
you're fine. You're fine.
Okay. I would say, yeah, dive into it because someone that is going to have maybe, I don't want to say the same idea, but is looking to launch their book using AI, and you launching your book using it manually and the old way is what we're going to call it now, is
Yeah.
it's going to be a humongous difference. A
Yeah. I
humongous
agree.
difference.
I agree.
Yeah. So I would say do not walk, run, because there are so many tools out there for you guys to utilize to just market and promote your book just alone in itself. And it will save you thousands of dollars, time, energy, and stress.
Awesome. That's a great way to wrap. Thank you so much for hopping back on. You guys make sure that you follow Nikki Govan. So it's Govan over on Instagram. Nikki
G
Govan.
I G
Oh,
I
G
G I
G
B
Givon.
O. Yes.
Givon. Follow her over on Instagram. She plays over in that space and gives great information over there. Nikki, thank you so much for being our
You're
guest today here on Write
welcome.
the Book TV. It was a pleasure having you. And like everybody said, you were dropping some gems tonight, and so I appreciate you so much. And so, to our viewing audience, thank you so much for joining us again for another episode of Write the Book TV. If you are an author or an expert in the literary field and you want to be on the show, just go on over to www.writethebooktv.com and apply there. Thank you guys so much for joining us again, and have a good night. Bye bye.